There we go. Oh, Gerry. Your poor little fluffy patch. Poor little baby boy. Good morning, Tom. How's it going? Good morning, Zara. Good morning, Palin. How are you all? Oh, it's an EP day. Morning, Annie. Morning, Joe. Could do with more bed, I feel. More snuggles. More bed. Good morning, David. Morning, Adept. Good morning, Megalomaniac. I hope you're all having a very lovely day so far. Morning, Ravane. Yeah, I'm snoozy. It was very difficult getting out of bed this morning, I'll say. I woke up and then I was like, I can still do, a little bit more sleep. And then I just slept for almost another hour and woke up oh. Gotta get more bed, more dreams for the podcast, is true. Good morning, Rob. But yeah, we've not really been having dreams recently. We went to record yesterday. And we're just like, have you had dreams? No, I've not had dreams. We're like, should we just try and have dreams tonight and then record tomorrow? So yeah, I also boo-booed because I accidentally arranged for my first therapy introduction session to be at the same time as when we normally record. So I was just like, oh, Kirsty, I've done a boo-boo, I'm sorry. Exec, thank you very much for the 16 months. Thank you. Good morning, Fallon. Good morning, Hetland. Kirsty says she had dreams of heretics. Too much dark tide. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think that's the problem. I think we've both just been having very, surface level dreams that have just been, like I've had a lot of dreams about Peak, just because I played a lot of Peak. And there's not really much else to say about it. It's just well, it's because I was playing that. And, what else is I was having sort of dreams about Mark DMing things because he had just DM'd me in something. So it was just yeah, there's not really much to say about them. But I did have a dream last night that I can bring in. The annoying thing is I know I had two dreams, but as I was trying to recall one of them, it was just and it just floated away, and I was like, no. It's just the pellets, my baby boy. You done? You done with pellets? Do you want pellets from the other side of Fifi? Do you think I have something else? I don't. Come on, Andrew. No. Do you want this? What? Oh my goodness. Oh, bunnies, I'm sorry. The fence just settled into place and scared all three of us. That'll wake you up. It must have just been resting slightly on something. It's okay. Right, let me take the rest of these in case Gerry wants them in a bit. Emma, thank you very much for the 37 months. 37 whole years of pellets and Friday Nana. Yeah, I think that's what he can smell. I think he smells that there's Nana up on the table. And that's what's intrigued him out of his pellets, I would guess. Hello. You can have your Nana in a bit. You can. You just have to wait. You have to wait till you finished your pellets first. You do. Oh dear, oh dear. It's not scrumply blanket time already. Surely. There we go. Couple of cuddles and then I'll see if you want more of your pellets. It does take a lot more to frighten Fifi away from food than it does Gerry. She's just gonna be like, huh? Okay. Although sometimes it can be the other way around. Sometimes Gerry is just like... There was a time when I wondered like, if he was losing his hearing a bit because he just wasn't fussed about things for ages. But I think it was just that he was cozy. Just a cozy boy. What are you up to? What are you planning? I'm here for a bit, but the evil government overlords are summoning me for 12, so I need to leave before the end of Panui. Oh no. I hope whatever it is goes well. So I had my therapy introduction yesterday and it went well, I feel, and I've booked in with good morning, Steve. I've booked in a proper session, having been formally introduced. So hopefully I'm on the road to helping my anxiety get better. Fingers crossed. And it was it was interesting. It's like, I don't know, it feels like there's an odd sort of taboo in not taboo, but taboo in saying stuff. It felt very I don't know, even though it was me talking about me and my life, it just parts of it, I had this feeling of oh my gosh, I'm just sat here gossiping, I shouldn't be doing this sort of thing. It's just very it's very odd. And I think also you have this thing where I guess you're trained in a conversation to, a conversation normally has this certain pattern to it where you're don't, you can't just talk about yourself. You have to be oh, so what about you? Where did you grow up? Sort of thing. And then having this very one-sided conversation is just very obviously, they were talking and stuff, but it feels very odd to be asking no questions and just talking about you. It's it's very odd. Therapy is weird. You start talking about something and then the therapist goes, no, let's talk more about you. It's the one time you're encouraged to talk about yourself. Yeah, it's just because it feels very oh, this isn't how, I've been trained that conversations have a certain pattern to them and you don't want to hog the conversation too much and you don't want to talk about yourself too much and all of this stuff. So then just breaking those rules is just really oh, this is odd. And I think also just it feels very odd to say things and I left and my main concern was just what if they just hate me and they think I'm an asshole? What if I said this thing and now they're just sat there being you're awful and all of this stuff, and I'm just I know that's their job is to not think that you're awful. But it's but yeah, it's very, very strange. And I did sort of I've always wondered what people talk about in therapy. Is there a right and wrong thing to say? Are they truly judgment free? The scare. I mean, I think that's the thing. Is like it's however. I guess it's however you want to lead it. I mean, I guess that they are a professional and they're there to guide it. But I'm guessing there is no right or wrong. You know, if you just want to sit and have a cry, if you just want to talk around it in circles until you slowly hone in on it. I guess I don't think there's like a wrong way to do it though. I mean, I guess it's about finding the therapist that is the right fit for you. Because I tried BetterHelp for a little bit a couple of years ago when I was struggling, and there was one guy who I talked to and I was immediately like, this guy is not the right person for me to talk to. We did not click at all. And certain things he was saying, I was just like, he's made me feel worse. I don't think that's a good thing. So there's definitely like, you do have to, if you have doubts, just change. Don't, don't feel like, oh, well, this is a therapist, so they know best. Trust your gut on that, I would say. Can be off-putting initially trying to find the right therapist for you. Yeah, because I think that's sometimes it's easy to think that, oh wait, love that your anxiety has anxious thoughts about the thing designed to help with the anxiety. Oh yes, it's like a cake, my anxiety. It has many layers. But yeah, I think when you are first, like, because I remember I had the first session with that guy, and I had this thing of like, maybe it's just me, maybe like it's just my anxiety, it's fun. And then I sort of thought about it, and I was like, do you know what? No, I'm paying for a service, and I'm not happy with it. I should change it. And then I changed to this woman who was very lovely, and she really helped. But yeah, I too have heard bad things about BetterHelp. That lady did help me at that time. I can say that, but yeah, I have also heard like not good things about it in general. I guess it just happens that there are some, good therapists who have found their way onto there, but yes, the service itself might be a bit stimky. But for me personally, I wanted to go to someone face to face, because I think one thing I found with BetterHelp is that I was sat on my sofa like talking to someone, and then I'd end up the call, and then I would just be sat on my sofa alone, just with all of that stuff I'd just discussed, and I didn't really have I couldn't compartmentalize it very well. Good morning, cow. Whereas I'm hoping that having someone I go to, and they're like an hour away, so it feels like a good way to have a good time to get in and out of that headspace, if that makes sense. So yeah, good morning, Lifelike. And it's quite a nice journey as well. So it should be good to have I'm going into talking about stuff, and now I'm slowly coming out of talking about stuff. And yeah, having a bit of space from it, I think, should be good. But I did sort of do a bit of a Columbo to the therapist, because we were talking, so they obviously ask questions that oh, what was your childhood like, and what's your home life like now, and what's your job, and just getting a general picture of you in the first session. And then at the end, I was like, okay, this didn't come up. I mean, I won't talk about it now, because obviously this is what I'm going for. But at the end, I was like, also, this didn't come up, but I just want to say at some point when I'm ready, I want to talk about this thing. To give it a name, I'll call it Bob. So I was like, at some point, I need to talk about Bob. And the therapist was like, okay, would you say, just in a word, would you say Bob was traumatic? And I was like, yeah. And then the therapist was like, okay, because for the entire hour, I have been sat here going, there's something here that just hasn't happened to come up, and there's something, and I don't know what it is. And now you've said Bob, and I'm like, okay. But it's just the fact that I did this sort of, the time was already up, and I was leaving, and then I did like a Columbo, one more thing. We gotta talk about Bob. But yeah, it's that's on a cliffhanger, yeah. But they've said like we're going to build up a good foundation first, so that I'm not as anxious in day to day, and then we can, slowly go a bit deeper. They said it's a bit like climbing a mountain. Like you start at base camp and you walk up and you're like, I climbed this many meters today. That's nice. I'll go back down. And then the next day, maybe see if you can climb a bit further. Maybe you can't, and you go back to the one before. That's fine. It's like peak. You build up to the kiln. Oh no. Good morning, Mexicos. Yeah, I'm okay. I think the thing I've realized, I mean, maybe I do still have a bit of an inner ear problem, but I think the thing I've realized is that at some point I got a bit better and the anxiety took over, if that makes sense. And I just thought, I still feel weird. It must still be this. But I think at some point it did just become more anxiety than illness. And that's why I was like, I'm just going to book in. Maybe now's the time. Maybe now's the time to start addressing things. But yeah. Hello. You baby boy. You got a little snotty up your nose, haven't you? You snifter? Oh, I'm sorry, baby boy. I won't try and get it though. You're too cozy. Or maybe I will. I did it. I'm sorry. Baby boy. I know that feeling when heart was being funny. The worry about the heart being funny made the heart be more funny. Yes. Yeah, it's like, it do be like that. It's like a couple years ago when I was worried about having heart problems, and it all turned out that it was just anxiety. I shouldn't say just anxiety, because anxiety is a big thing that can really take you down, as I found out. And it was just this thing of like, I'd start having heart palpitations and then I'd worry about them, so then they'd get worse, and then my body would be like, hey, what if we just started fainting? I'm just like, oh geez, this must be something really bad, because if I'm at the point where I'm just like fainting, that sounds bad. And it was just like, no, it was just everything attacking itself and going into this like, we should just shut it down. We don't know what we're doing anymore, just shut it down. But yeah, it is, it is mad how, I mean, not mad as in we're all crazy, but it's mad as in how much anxiety can just have a physical effect on the body. It is. Sometimes my heart skips a beat and then I panic about it and it starts pounding. Yeah. It is odd. Good morning, owls. Me, why is my heart racing? Brain, go. Me, what? Brain, there's an email. We must go. Yeah, let's just leave. But it is a strange thing. And they were asking what stage I would like to get to. And I was just like, I just wanted to get through the day without panicking, really. That's it. It is a simple ask. I just want to get through, and not feel dread would be nice. Because I was talking about, they were saying about what spooks you. That wasn't how they worded it. Hey, come in, take a seat. What spooks you? And I was like, well, one of the big things is about losing the bunnies. And I said, bunnies are technically considered old when they get to 8. And every day I just worry, And they were like, how old are your bunnies? And I was like, well, my boy's going to be 11 in September. And they were like, for 3 years you felt worry every day about this? And I was just like, yeah. Like, is that not just normal to just constantly be in a state of fear about losing precious little bunnies? Like, okay, we can work on that. I was like, okay. But yeah, just stuff like that I'd like to be more stable with, methinks. Little guy. And it's one of those things, I guess you can leave if you do, but I hope you don't mind me talking about it. But I always try and be very open about this sort of stuff. I think it's better to talk about it and let people know that, it's not, people go through this and maybe someone else is going through something similar, and it will help to hear that someone else is going through it. So yeah. But if you don't like hearing my waffling, you can always mute and just watch the bunnies. I guess that's the wonderful thing about bunny streams. There's always going to be Banu. Come on in, Jesus. Boop. He's like, oh. I had that when I was 10, when I learned about my grandparents being old. Yeah, I remember doing a thing when I was... So I was little, and I had this sudden realization similarly about my grandparents, although I had already lost my granddad died quite young. And so I had this realization about my nan. And I called up my nan. Imagine getting this call from your grandchild. I called up my nan. And I was like, are you scared to die? I think it was about 8. And my nan was like, she was wonderful. She was lovely. And she just immediately didn't skip a beat, just said to me like, well, no, of course not, because I'll be with Granddad again. And I was just like, okay. That's nice. And I think that did give me a lot of comfort as a child. And now I'm scared. Please don't visit. But, I guess I had a very Christian family. And I guess having that belief and knowing, that I'll be back with Granddad. Well, she obviously didn't call him Granddad. But yeah, I was like, oh, thank you. But yeah, looking back, getting that phone call from your grandchild is just like, what the heck? Dude, no. It's like that time that I was babysitting my niece and she just said, "I need a knife," when she was in bed. And I was just like, "Why do you need a knife?" And she was like, "To cut the cake." I was like, "Okay. Okay. What is wrong with children?" Why are things scarier when it's said by children? Oh, dear oh dear. Although, having said that, Alex said in his sleep last night, which woke me up, he was just like, "They are directly in front of me." And I was just like, who? Huh? But yeah, spoopums. Do you not want the ice pod? I'm getting certain vibes that you maybe don't want the ice pod on the blankie. I've been told. He chuck. You do not want. Oh, wait, do you want pellet? A Fifi has appeared. Kaloo kalay, a Fifi day. Wait, do you want... I'm trying to put them down in a trail so that Fifi has to nibble her way through them. TD. I had an ex who sat bolt upright one night and went, "Spider moth," and then went back to sleep. I had a friend who used to talk in his sleep all the time. And there was a time when, I think it was New Year's, and we were sleeping over at someone else's house. And he just sat up and screamed, like a full-on scream, and then lay back down. And we were just like, huh? Like, what the heck? But he would do stuff like that all the time. My little bro used to say the alphabet when he was sleeping, sitting as a monk. It is... You had to think about that one. What was wrong with that pellet? That you had to... Are you grumpy? Are you grumpy lady? Why is she grumpy though? Is it because I didn't fill the water, princess? We don't even have a water. Also, one night she went, Max, where's the cake trolley? I mean, that is a very good question to ask, to be fair. I've woken myself up being like, did I scream that IRL? I mean, I've woken up Alex screaming before with my, I've said it many times before, but my Xylus dream that woke me up. Suddenly, very scaredily. Good morning, Shadow. Did you find another one? Was there another one? Oh, Fifi, I think you're squinching him. You did him a hemkim squinch. I had a dream I was a small piglet years ago, and according to my partner at the time, I woke up snorting loudly. I remembered there was a dream, a time when I had like a really bad cold. I could not breathe through my nose, and this is like when I was back living at my parents' house, and I was snoring so loudly, and I was so out of it because I guess I just wasn't well, and I woke up and I was just like, what is that noise? And I was like, oh, it's me. Because I just woke up still snoring somehow, just hearing like, I was like, what is that? Is that a car outside? I was like, no, that's just me. The noise is coming from inside the house. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, one thing I will say, an interesting thing was, I remember my brother telling me you heard me say CM Punk in the middle of the night. No idea what I was dreaming. Like when a dog wakes itself, yeah. My dad told me that his dog, when he was little, once woke himself up, and they used to sleep in like a tight-knit little like croissant. and then they would wake up by essentially just surprising themselves directly into the face. And apparently their ears would just go straight up and they'd be like, dear, oh dear. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, so, okay, this is not me in any way diagnosing myself. I'm just putting this out there as a little thing. I will start this off by saying I am undiagnosed with anything. But I was talking to the therapist saying, like, you know, sometimes I suspect that I am somewhere on the spectrum. It's a spectrum, so I guess everyone is technically somewhere. But I was like, you know, I have a suspicion. And then I was saying about, like, oh no, Gerry, I went to put my foot out to hold you up, but I didn't get there in time. Sorry, boo. So I said, you know, I think possibly, you know, maybe ADHD, because of various things that I have friends who are diagnosed and they've said similar things. And then we started talking about, like, trauma things. And the therapist said that very often people who have gone through trauma will, like, exhibit those same behaviors. Like, it has like a large overlap with ADHD things. So, which is something I hadn't heard before. But I was just like, oh, I wonder if it, you know, if it could be that. It could just be that. But that is something else that I'm probably going to explore. Which I guess, you know, until I find out either way, I won't know. Because that's how knowledge works. Can't be sure either way, but it's just something. It was just the other thing that came out of it that I was a bit like, oh, that is interesting. But good morning, Lou. How the bunnies getting on? They're good. They're good little banoos. They're sleepy. I think the warm has just made them both very sleepy recently. There's not been too many shenanigans going on. It's just been just eepiness. Just snuggles. Even Fifi. Just cozy banoos. I saw this thing on Instagram the other day of this woman who was like, I've been told that it's good to give your anxiety a name. She was like, and I'm gonna give mine a man's name because no man's telling me what to do and how to feel. I thought, okay, if it works for you. Just like, screw you, Kevin. You're not going to tell me to panic. Oh, come on in, pizza. Yeah. My anxiety's called dumb bitch. Didn't you call something Bob earlier? I did, but yeah, that wasn't. I guess maybe I've taken this advice on. I've realised recently, like, how often I start a sentence with, I saw something on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm so chronically online, I need to stop scrolling. But then I wouldn't have heard the Britta song. And I love the Britta song. Good morning, Elusive. We have rats, but I wanted rabbits as well. My partner said no, so he rescued a greyhound instead. Oh my gosh. I would love to have rattos, but I feel like I could not accommodate them currently. But I have always loved rats. They're just such funny little guys. Guys and gals. Guys and gals. They're just a bunch of crazy guys and gals. I like watching them get peas out of water when it's warm. Same with ducks, actually. It's one of my biggest regrets in life is that I got a rat when I was little, and there wasn't any information on like how to look after them back in those days, back in the 90s or whatever. And so I did everything wrong, and that rat had such a bad life. And that's why I now foster rodents, because I'm like, it's my one shot at some sort of redemption. And I know sadly I can never redeem for that rat because their time has been and gone. But yeah, I will try and always do the best I can for rodents to, well, not just to make up for it because it's the right thing to do, but yeah, they were in like a horizontal cage instead of a vertical cage. They were kept on their own when rats are very social. But it's just like one of those things that, this is back in the days where you would just go to the pet shop and just be like, 1 rat, please. And there was no sort of, I mean, I say back in the days, but those still are the days. Sadly, in that regard, not much has changed in terms of pet shops. People can still go in with no background check and, you know, knowing that they have the right knowledge and stuff to give them a good time. I had water and now I found myself sad thinking about the raccoon. Oh no. No. It's yeah, sadly pet shops are lagging a little bit behind. Good morning, Katie. How you doing? Rats are amazing. They don't live long. Yeah. It is very difficult with rodents when I mean, I guess especially as ones that are like sadly a lot of rats have been, you know, their breeding line, so to speak, their genetics aren't the best, so they are very prone to like respiratory problems and stuff like that. But they're just so lovely. I love them. I love little rattos. I'm good, thank you, Katie. I mean, I guess the one exception is maybe chinchillas, because they can live for like 16 years or something. So I guess with chinchillas, if you know, you're in for the long haul if you get those little guys. But yeah, when it's like Pompters and it's only 2 years, like I'm very aware at the moment that little Fauna, who will probably stay with us, it must be like, I think he's coming up to 1.5 now, and I'm just like, oh. Poor little guy, never really getting his forever home. But he obviously doesn't know he's not in his forever home, so I have so much bunny floof on my face. I can just feel it floating up. And being attacked by this little fluffy cloud. Artemis did me a heckin' scare yesterday because she just happened, the one thing that I had put out. So if I don't see the Humpters, I'll put out like a little thing and be like, if that moves, I know they're still alive within the last day. And she just happened to have not touched the thing that I had put out. And I was just like, oh no. So I was in the process last night of setting up loads of things. Do you need to do a big sniff? I'm getting the feeling you've got a sniff brewing. I was in the process of like setting up like everything so that I could tell, you know, like smoothing over the sand bath, all of this stuff. And I as I was doing that, I just heard this like snuffling, and then this little head popped up, and I was just like, "Oh, hello! Don't mind me. Here you are." But yeah, bless them. But if I had it my way, if I was the ruler of the world, of at least the UK, I would make it illegal for pet shops to sell live animals. That would be my first move. Economy? Schmuckonomy. Let's sort out pet shops. That's the way we're going. Look at him's tiny little mouth. Look at this little guy. How will people get pets? They would have to go to rescues, and once rescues aren't inundated anymore, I guess in an ideal world, you would have proper licensed and regulated breeders. Like only at the point, obviously, when there is no need for rescues anymore. But yeah, that would be the ideal world. But with a rescue, you have they're properly health checked. They're properly make sure that they're like spayed and neutered. They'll actually do home checks to check that they're going into a good home. The pet shops will close and send their pets to rescues. Do you know how responsible pet shops are for the inundation of rescues already? Like Pets at Home being like, oh yeah, here's 2 female bunnies, unspayed, wink, when it turns out there's a boy and a girl. Do you know how many, in all the years that I have worked with rescues, how many unwanted litters, unplanned for litters have come from Pets at Home because they just don't care. They're just there to make money. They're already the problem. If anything, them 1-for-1 rescuing their pets to rescues will save so much time and space and money. They're awful. And they sell things that are like bad for animals. Pets at Home sell hamster toys that can kill hamsters. And they sell inappropriate sized cages. I think there's one pet shop in the UK. I think it's in Manchester. And they are the only pet shop in the UK that actually will only sell appropriate things. That's how bad they are in the UK. Everywhere else, there's no regulations. Good morning, Limewood. We had 2 girl bunnies as a kid. Yep. It's so common. So common. But it's yeah, if anyone's interested, if you have a Hompter, if ever you have anything that is painted sawdust, it's bad because they basically chew through the outer coating and then they suffocate on the sawdust underneath. So it's not good. Just don't buy anything from there. But then it's so bad because you know that there's the animals that are already in there through no fault of their own, and they do deserve lovely homes. It's not their fault that they were born into that. But yeah. Stinky. So that would be my first change. What would I change next? How am I fixing the UK? Oh. Beep, 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 beep. Deet, 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 deet. Little guy. Little guy. More nap spots in public places. Yep, that sounds good. That sounds good. Oh. We got our first rats from Pets at Home. We shouldn't have. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that at the end of the day, they are still little babies and they still deserve homes. It's not their fault that they found themselves in a stinky shop. Look at this guy. Look at you. I love he so much. So, of homelessness and orphans first. Well, it could be argued that the test of a true society is how they treat the most oppressed amongst them. And I would argue that that is animals. But also, yes, orphans and homelessness bad. I guess I'll take a day off to not just look after rats and hamsters, to look after the orphans too. It's difficult running the country. Turns out there's more to running a country than shut pets at homes and turn them into orphanages. Yay! Sorted. Oh, did I tickle your ears? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little guy. Ashnuff. You're thinking about it. You really do thinking about it. Every orphan gets a pet rat. Yay! Well, technically 2 pet rats because they're companion animals, so they have to have them together. You know, we've got to do this right if we're doing this. Do you want your banana now? You have waited very patiently. Oh, he's off. He do be off though. Hello. Okay. Oh, one for he, one for she. Oh. A big pile of floof I stole from Gerry. Immediately checking to see if he has any. Oh. Only wants to focus on your bum, Fifi. There we go. Is that what you've been waiting for? All this time, Gerry boy? Bum, ba da bum, bum, bum. Ba da bum. There we go. There we go. A little guy. A little guy. Over here in Western Australia, we just passed a law which requires that pet shops can only sell dogs if they get them from a rescue. Ah. Yes, like I saw, I always find it odd when you get, I guess because I don't know that it's ever really been a thing over here, or it's not in my lifetime anyway, but When you see the thing of like there being just puppies in like a window of a pet shop, it's so strange because I mean, you get like the small animals, but you'd never see just like dogs in a pet shop over here. Whereas I was watching a show recently. Oh, where were they? It was Race Across the World. So they were in various locations, and I think it was Korea. I want to say maybe that they went past a shop and it had just little puppies in the window, and I was just like, oh. I think it was common in the 70s. Yeah, I was thinking, like, from what country does the song "How Much Is That Doggy in the Window" come from? Is that a British song? Did we used to have doggies in the windows? Or is that an American song? Is it one of ours? But yeah, it's just such an odd thing because I guess, like, I'm just not used to it as a concept. Hey, baby boy. When we were there were so many pet shops and you had just like 3 dogs or cats. That's just like same with cats as well. Like, I can't imagine our pet shops having dogs or cats. But yeah. Even rescues have to be careful about the wrong owners. Yeah, you do get like, I think I've seen a lot of like, I guess back in the day, typically people would have like working dogs, or if they had dogs they would be very trained. Whereas I think maybe it was a lockdown thing, but I swear it was happening before, where people would get doggos and they wouldn't realize how much work would have to go into them. They just thought, dogs come with that software already downloaded, whereas they don't. And they would be like, when you see so many doggos like just not having, like, I remember it happening with a friend of a friend got a beautiful boxer doggo, this big white boxer doggo, and he would do things like he would tell him like, oh, come over here, like get him up on the couch, be like, oh, come on, get up, and then he'd get up and he'd be like, okay, now get down. And it's like, doggos need to know if couch is yes or no. They can't know couch sometimes yes, but when told no. That, like, they need either you're on the sofa or you're not on the sofa. And giving them like encouragement to get up there and then make it sound like they're bad for being up there, that's just so confusing for a doggo. And just stuff like that. I think people don't realize that you need to lay those ground rules and have that sort of structure, and for the doggo to like understand what the heck is going on. But yeah, last time I was volunteering at Manchester Dog Sound, there's a big baby who was returning to the people that go and straight up lied about there being kids in the house. Wait, what? Dear oh dear. Yeah, the rescues that I work for will do like home checks. I remember having, well, because we got Squeak in lockdown times, that one was just done over the phone, so I guess that was more like checking that we had a suitable enclosure. But I had been like known to the rescue for that quite a while by that point. But yeah, I remember having someone come over and check that the the house was suitable for Bunny. I mean, at that point we already had Gerry living here anyways. But yes, The two foster cats of my sister has been getting interested now that they're adults and not kittens. Yeah, it do be like that. It's like with Fauna. Like Fauna never really had much interest because I think people want Syrian hamsters that are a bit bigger and more social and easily handleable, whereas the little morning bunny, the little Robrovskis that just tend to be what you call like ghost hamsters usually. Like sometimes you just don't see them. Fauna is a lot more active now and is very lovely to just watch sort of go around his day. And he will take stuff out of your hand, but I don't think him and his sibling are ever going to be like super handleable little babies. They're just too quick and too flighty and too scared. Whereas people want, the Syrian hamsters tend to get adopted. I don't know why your hand was so weirdly angled. It was your foot. Yeah, sometimes now Gerry's older and he's a little bit arthritic. Sometimes he just wobbles over and it's just become second nature to just like put my foot next to him so that he doesn't fall over. Oh, bye Emma. Have a lovely day. He's a wobbly snoofy boy. He is. He do be. It's just part of... Sorry, I'm picking at my t-shirt because I made banana bread yesterday and I accidentally got the mixture on my t-shirt and it's that satisfying crustiness. And you're like, ooh, this is nice to pick at. But yes, the what now? You know when something is just satisfyingly crusty. Hello. How are you doing? You having a good day? Like a scab without damaging yourself. Yes, precisely. I thought, do you know what? I can sneakily make banana bread before dinner because I had 3 bananas that were getting old, and I was like, this recipe says it only takes... I wasn't really paying attention. And I was like, oh, the recipe says you only bake it for 20 minutes. That's great. So I put it in the oven for 20 minutes. And then I took it out and I was like, this isn't done. And then I scrolled down on the recipe. It said bake for 20 minutes. And then there was an advert. And then underneath the advert was like, then cover with tin foil and bake for a further 20 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. So I just hadn't seen that it was actually twice as long. But it worked out sort of okay because it meant that by the time it was done, we made pizza yesterday. And by the time we had actually finished assembling the pizzas, the banana bread had just come out. So it was, it worked out, timed quite well in the end. And I got to have banana bread, which I guess I will have for breakfast maybe. Oh, where do buns often get arthritis? In their back leggies. Usually these little pins will be the achy parts, which is where we suspect it is with Gerry. I didn't want to put him through a X-ray, so we don't know for sure, but it's one of those things that he is... I guess when bunnies get older, as with any little baby, you have to sort of balance the stress of procedure with what would you do for them anyway. And the vet was like, if we found out he did, we would be doing the exact same thing that we're doing now anyway. So it would just be to be able to say for certain, yes, it's that. So he's just managed with pain relief at the moment anyways. But I suspect that's what it is, because he is a little bit... What's the word? Not cranky. I can't think. Crimbly. So he's just on pain relief called gabapentin, which just helps him be not an achy boy, which is good. And he has the teeny tiniest little bit of it when he has it. Maybe he crusty. Creaky, that was the word I was looking for. He's a creaky boy. But yeah. Well, I guess it is time for me to run away and headed to the office for Curb. And I guess applied to be a politician so I can take over. But yeah, I don't think I've seen any mods in chat today, so I don't know if there can even be a raid. Oh, do you know what else I would do if I was in charge? I would make it so that people have to be nice to pigeons. That would be one of my movements, would be we looked after pigeons, we domesticated pigeons, and then when they were no use to us, we threw them outside, and it's not their fault that they still want to be cuddled. That would be the name of the of the bill that I would pass. We domesticated them and trained them to help us in the war, and then when we no longer needed them, we threw them out into the cold. And pigeons deserve love. So yeah, that would be my next movement. The Pigeon Cuddling Act. Yes. Pigeons are babies. Little babies. Okay, I guess you're all just going to have to, like, go. Wherever you want to. You're all just going to have to go about your days. Because I can't send you anywhere. And I can't tell you what to do. You have free will and you have to exercise it now. You just have to go and find somewhere to be taken care of and looked after. Go find a cozy place. Go raid the fridge. That is a good shout. Go do a good kicked out of bun stream. Go on, get. Mama needs a banana bread. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think there is a Yogs Games stream today. Is it Boba? Is it Boba doing one? Because I remember thinking like, oh, there'd be people in the studio when I get in. Usually it's just empty and the lights are off when I get in on a Friday. So that'll be nice. You organised it. Oh, I see. Yeah, go and... I guess you can go see Viz. You can go and enjoy the fruit of Katie's labours. Do you have fruit of labours? Good morning, Mark. How you doing? He's a very sweepy boy. A very sweepy boy. Indeed. But yeah, I can't do a raid from my phone. So, you just have to go somewhere. Sorry. But I hope you all look after yourselves. I'll see some of you hopefully in Kirby chat. If not, I hope you will have absolutely fabulous weekends. Oh, and also, if you didn't see the update to the schedule that I made, I will also be high rollersing on Sunday. So I might see you twice over the weekend. We're just standing here awkwardly. Yeah, this has the feeling of like we've all said goodbye and then we all leave the same way and we're like, oh, oh, you're going. Oh, I see. Okay. But yeah, over on High Rollers D&D at 5 p.m. on Sunday. I shall be over there having fun with those lovely beans. And yeah, so there you go. If I don't see you Friday, hopefully see you Sunday. If I don't see you either, have good weekends. If you're at Wimbledon on Saturday, I'll see you there. See you on centre court, baby. But yes, look after yourselves, and I shall speak to you all soon. There's Fifi. You can have a little zoom in on Fifi. Fifi. And Gerry says bye-bye. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Boop.